Sonic Adventure 2 is one of the most beloved 3D Sonic games. Much like its predecessor, Sonic Adventure 2 features the garbage gameplay that fans have come to deem acceptable. It's the jank, sketchy garbage that I've come to love about the 3D Sonic games. A new addition to Sonic Adventure 2 was the new way you play through the story mode. It features a linear story separated between the perspective of the heroes and the villains. The hero campaign starts out with Sonic resisting arrest from the military while running fast as shit, which is all you can really ask for in a 3D Sonic game. Sonic has some new abilities in Sonic Adventure 2 that make his stages much more enjoyable. Sonic can now grind down rails with his brand new soap shoes. If you weren't alive when this game came out on the Dreamcast, soap shoes were basically this stupid fucking shoe with a plastic groove on the bottom, which you can use to grind down rails with. It was a sponsorship that was probably added in after the rail grinding was in the game, but it's just another detail that makes me fucking hate Sonic. It's like if they gave Mario Heelys or some shit. It's just so fucking goofy and tasteless. Despite everything I've said, the first stage is still enjoyable for what it's worth. You're playing as Sonic doing fun Sonic shit. Sonic then does a shitty boss fight with the military robot, and then he runs into Shadow. Apparently the military has been chasing after Shadow, but they've been mistaking him for Sonic the entire time, which is fucking stupid, because they don't even look vaguely similar. Shadow also uses the power of the Chaos Emerald to use Chaos Control, which basically allows him to teleport away before the military captures Sonic. The game cuts to Knuckles defending the Master Emerald from Rouge the Bat, where Eggman comes out of nowhere and attempts to steal it. Knuckles is luckily able to break apart the Emerald before he's able to steal it, and now Knuckles has to recover the missing pieces of the Master Emerald, because that's what happened in Sonic Adventure 1, so now he's gonna do it again in Sonic Adventure 2. The Knuckles stages are exactly the same as Sonic Adventure, but they just made them worse for no apparent reason. Each level involves tracking down 3 pieces of the Master Emerald using the tracker on the bottom of the screen. In Sonic Adventure, you could track down each individual piece at the exact same time. You could usually figure out where each piece was by going through the entire level in one big sweep. Sonic Adventure 2 ruins these stages by only allowing you to track down one piece at a time, even though the other pieces are still hidden in the level. This means that Knuckles' stages are padded out to an almost ridiculous length, since you usually have to sweep a level multiple times in order to retrack the area for the emerald piece that the game decided to not tell you about. It's a step down from Sonic Adventure that has no benefits. The game now cuts to Tails, who is going to Prison Island to break Sonic out of jail. It's here where you start playing as Tails. For whatever reason, all of his stages involve piloting a stupid robot. The robot controls like a terrible, janky version of E102 from Sonic Adventure, and all you do is run throughout the entire level and hold B to shoot stuff. You keep constantly losing your momentum when you turn, and running into a wall makes Tails run to the left or right. This combination of controls makes Tails the worst character in the game, and this inclusion makes no sense at all. Tails was an alright character to play in Sonic Adventure, because he was more similar to Sonic, but now they gave him a fucking robot for like no fucking reason. Amy eventually runs into Sonic and breaks him out of jail. It's here where we finally get back to playing as Sonic in this fucking Sonic game. Sonic eventually runs into Shadow for a quick boss fight, where Eggman tells Shadow that the island is going to blow up, and it's another great stage, because it's a fucking Sonic stage. You're playing as Sonic, doing fun Sonic shit. So now Eggman is broadcasting himself to the world where he ends up blowing up half the moon for like no fucking reason, and then he gives the world 24 hours to give in to his demands, or else he's going to destroy the world. Putting Sonic in the real world has always been a problem with the 3D Sonic games, and I have absolutely no idea why they do it time and time again. This is more of a problem with Sonic as a whole, but it bugged me the most when I played Sonic Adventure 2. In the earlier Sonic games, Eggman was the only human in the game, and it's clear that they put a ton of thought into his design. He looked very cartoony with his giant bulbous body, and it seemed to fit with what we knew about the Sonic universe. But now a lot of the 3D Sonic games just take place in the real world, where everyone else just looks completely normal. Eggman's design clashes so much that it just looks fucking stupid. There was just so little thought put into this that just blows my mind. So now Tails figures out that he can use his Chaos Emerald to track down where Eggman is, but now the police is catching up with the group. It's here where you're just sucker punched with another Tails stage. The story then cuts to Knuckles to collect some more pieces of the Master Emerald, who eventually meets up with Amy and Tails. So out of nowhere, Tails finds the transcript between Eggman and the president in the government computer, whatever the fuck that means, so he races off to find the President of the United States with Sonic in order to pinpoint the location of Eggman, who is on the space colony Ark. So now the group heads to Egypt in order to go to the space colony for some fucking reason. So now you play the game as Sonic when you're inside the pyramid, and it's another fun Sonic stage, because you're playing as Sonic doing fun Sonic shit in this fucking Sonic game. So now the group finds the entrance to Eggman's secret base, but it's locked. So they throw in a Knuckles stage for no fucking reason, because Knuckles has to go find the keys. Sonic's literally like, go find the keys, you dumb fuck, we'll wait right here. It's here where Knuckles ends up fighting a stupid fucking ghost. It's never explained why Knuckles fights a ghost or how the ghost is relevant to what's going on. You just fight a ghost. So now you do another shitty boss fight with Sonic, and the group ends up getting onto a spaceship that was hidden in the pyramid, and they take a spaceship to the space colony? Like, it's just fucking retarded. The spaceship then crashes into an asteroid, and Knuckles loses his pieces of the Master Emerald. So now Knuckles ditches the group to find his missing pieces, but the group doesn't know where he went, which makes no fucking sense. They're in space. Where the fuck could he have gone? How could you lose him? The group now has to find Eggman's cannon in order to destroy it before he blows up Earth. Tails has a fake Chaos Emerald he created, which is designed to reverse the energy field inside the Chaos Emeralds and blow up. So the plan is to switch out the real Chaos Emerald with the fake Chaos Emerald he created, which will blow up the cannon. It's here where you play another terrible Tails stage in order to destroy the power supply. Sonic is about to put the fake emerald into the control panel when Amy is captured by Eggman. The game immediately cuts to Knuckles finding the pieces of the Master Emerald. It's at this point where Knuckles' stages start to become fucking huge, and the terrible tracking system really starts to ruin his stages. Rouge the Bat eventually runs into Knuckles, and you have a little quick boss fight. They argue for a bit, where Rouge almost falls into a giant pit of lava, but Knuckles decides to save her at the last second. Even though Rouge can fly, I mean, she has fucking wings, I don't know why she was gonna fall. So now Rouge returns the pieces of the emerald for saving her life, and Knuckles restores the Master Emerald. There's another Sonic stage where Sonic has to race back to Tails and Amy, and it's a pretty fun stage, because you're playing as Sonic doing fun Sonic shit. Eggman is holding Amy hostage and tells Sonic to give up the fake Chaos Emerald. Sonic thinks he's about to trick Eggman into putting the emerald into the cannon, but Eggman knows that the emerald is fake and captures Sonic. He then launches Sonic out towards Earth in order to kill him, but Sonic uses the fake emerald to teleport away at the last second using Chaos Control. We get another Sonic stage where Sonic has to make his way to the cannon before it goes off, and it's a fun stage because it's a fucking Sonic stage. Sonic does a final boss fight against Shadow before throwing the emerald into the cannon at the last second and saving Earth. And that's the end of the hero campaign. The story is complete nonsense the entire way through, but it's a 3D Sonic game, so I never really had high expectations. It's in the Dark campaign, where we finally get all the interesting details to this nonsensical clusterfuck of a story. It starts with Eggman breaking into Prison Island. Apparently, Eggman's grandfather was working on a top secret military weapon that Eggman's trying to find. Eggman plays exactly the same as Tails, which is a major disappointment. He controls just as terrible as Tails does, and Eggman's stages are just god-awful. Eggman runs into Shadow, who also believes he's Sonic, which is fucking stupid. They don't even look the same. You do a shitty boss fight as Shadow, and then Shadow tells Eggman to bring him more Chaos Emeralds and meet him on the space colony Ark. The same shit happens again with Rouge the Bat, and you have to collect the pieces of the Master Emerald as Rouge. She plays exactly the same as Knuckles, it's basically the same shit again. So now Eggman is in his fucking pyramid secret base thing, where he finds out that Shadow has stolen a Chaos Emerald from the Federal Reserve Bank. Of course, everyone thinks that Shadow is Sonic, for some fucking reason. It literally doesn't make any sense. They don't look the same. They even show camera footage. Just look at him. He's not Sonic. This is so fucking stupid. So now Shadow is yucking it up, and we get flashbacks of Shadow on the space colony Ark, where this girl Maria apparently saved Shadow or something. So now Shadow has all these angsty flashbacks about Maria and wants to get revenge by destroying Earth. Like, who gives a fuck? So now we get our first Shadow stage. Apparently Shadow was also sponsored by Soap Shoes, because he plays exactly the same as Sonic, which is good. God forbid we have some Sonic shit in this fucking Sonic game. So now the game cuts back to Rouge breaking into Eggman's secret base, where she has to find the 3 keys to open the entrance up. Apparently Rouge is a secret agent working for the president, who's trying to figure out what Eggman's up to or some shit. So now Shadow tells Eggman that Professor Gerald created weapons of mass destruction, one of them being the Eclipse Cannon, which can be used to destroy an entire planet. In order to reactivate the cannon, they need to use the 7 Chaos Emeralds because it's a fucking Sonic game. Just shove those fucking emeralds into fucking anything you want, it'll make it work. Rouge the Bat shows up to use Eggman's radar in order to track down the Master Emerald, and she hands over a Chaos Emerald in order to gain his trust. So the group goes to Prison Island to track down the Chaos Emeralds. We get another shitty Eggman stage, and the group runs into Amy, who also mistakes Shadow for Sonic, which is once again one of the stupidest fucking things ever. So now Shadow has placed explosives all over Prison Island, and Rouge has to collect 3 Chaos Emeralds hidden on the base. Rouge is about to be left on the island when it's about to explode, but Shadow uses Chaos Control to save her at the last second. So now Shadow is having some flashbacks about Maria, he's being all existential and shit, but of course he's being all angsty and dark because he can't remember his hidden past. Like, it's just so fucking stupid. I would probably take this more seriously if Shadow didn't look like a cartoon character that belongs on a fucking cereal box. So now they blow up the moon for no fucking reason, but in order to use the cannon again, they will need all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Rouge was able to track down the final Chaos Emerald, which apparently Tails has. When he saved Station Square from missile attack in Sonic Adventure, the city rewarded him with a Chaos Emerald, which is really fucking weird, since this is literally the only thing that connects this game to the first game. So now Sonic, Tails, and Amy are on the Space Colony Ark, and Eggman realizes that Tails has a fake Chaos Emerald. You get a shitty Eggman stage, and Eggman runs into Amy to hold her hostage. So now Rouge is about to steal the Chaos Emeralds for herself when Shadow discovers that she's been a government spy working for the president. She reveals that Shadow is not actually the ultimate life form that Professor Gerald created, so now Shadow is struggling with his identity and fulfilling Maria's promise, and he's being a fucking edgelord. Like, who gives a fuck? No one's about to give a shit if Tony the Tiger is going through some deep shit. Like, I don't understand the tone this game is trying to set. We get another Shadow stage, and it's fun because you're playing as Shadow doing fun Shadow shit. He has his final boss fight with Sonic, and Eggman puts the last Chaos Emerald into the Eclipse Cannon. That's the ending to the Dark campaign, but completing both campaigns unlocks the final true ending to the game. We can finally truly understand all the deep Sonic lore bullshit that no one gives a fuck about. The true campaign starts out with the Eclipse Cannon failing to fire, and the activation of the 7 Chaos Emeralds makes the Space Colony Ark fall down towards Earth. This program was created by Professor Gerald in order to get revenge for the death of his granddaughter Maria. So now everyone's working together to stop the Space Colony from falling towards Earth. We get a shitty Tails stage, a shitty Eggman stage, a shitty Rouge stage, a shitty Knuckles stage, and a Sonic stage. The story cuts back to Amy, and what? Hold up! Was that fucking Big the Cat? Why is Big the Cat on the abandoned Space Colony Ark? How does that fit into the true ending story? Whatever, it doesn't matter, I guess. Shadow is being a fucking edgelord and isn't helping, but then Amy uses the power of friendship, so now he has a flashback of Maria and realizes that he's actually supposed to protect Earth this whole time. Whoops a fucking daisy, let me fix that shit. So now Shadow ends up fighting the ultimate life form, which is some stupid fucking lizard, and then Knuckles uses the power of the Master Emerald in order to stop the Chaos Emerald's power, but then the lizard uses Chaos Control in order to fuse together with the Space Colony Ark. So now Shadow and Sonic use the powers of the Chaos Emerald to become Super Sonic and Super Shadow, I guess, where they now have to fight a stupid fucking lizard that's fucking shish kebabbed onto the fucking Space Colony. Sonic and Shadow then use Chaos Control to stop the Space Colony from falling towards Earth. Sonic survives, but of course Shadow ends up dying, since risking his life in order to fulfill his promise to Maria would be like the edgiest shit ever. Of course, I'm just crying because this scene is so emotional. Fucking Count Chocula risked his life to protect Earth. Sonic Adventure 2 is jank garbage, and I love it. I wouldn't say it's good, but it's not terrible either. It's got a pretty good soundtrack with enough Sonic gameplay to keep you entertained. The only downside is that Sonic Adventure 2 just isn't as good as Sonic Adventure, which really isn't saying much because they're both jank as fuck. Sonic Adventure 2 essentially only has 3 characters you play as, which sounds better on paper, but it just isn't as good. You basically can play as a Sonic character, a Knuckles character, and an E102 character, and the levels are all divided up throughout the Hero and Dark campaign. Sonic and Shadow play as good as you expect them to, Knuckles and Rouge play just fine, but their tracking system ruins their levels, and Tails and Eggman play like complete shit. Both games have roughly the same amount of Sonic stages, but the original Sonic Adventure handles the non-Sonic shit much better than this game. Everyone always complains about Big the Cat, but he only had 4 action stages, and you could always choose to play a different campaign and revisit the bad characters at your own pace. Sonic Adventure 2 doesn't work as well as a linear story. Just when you start having fun playing some Sonic stages, you get sucker punched with a shitty Tails mission, and then you're just stuck. You can't have fun until you beat that shitty Tails mission. You can maybe switch over to the Dark campaign, but then you're just stuck playing a shitty Eggman stage instead. But does this even matter? Because in the grand scheme of things, both of these games aren't very good to begin with. The only reason I even enjoy these games as much as I do is because I go into them expecting to eat shit. I didn't grow up with Sonic, and I've never had any expectations that Sonic games will ever be good. The only reason Sonic is still around is because of its hardcore adult baby fan base who shit their pampers whenever they think the next Sonic game will actually be good, and it never is. Maybe you could have enjoyed these games for the Chow Garden, but then why the fuck do you even play Sonic in the first place? I play Sonic because I want to go fast as Sonic. I don't play Sonic games to play as the shit tier Sonic characters, and I especially don't play Sonic to babysit some stupid little shits. God forbid I can have an adventure playing as Sonic in this game series called Sonic Adventure.